Hello everyone, I'm Brooksy, this is Bramley Moore Blues. This is the instant match reaction to Burnley 0, Everton 0. The full-time whistle's just gone, so let's sort of talk through how this one played out. In terms of team news or selection, Beto came in for Barry, Jack Grealish missed out through illness unfortunately. We saw Tyler Diblin start on the right-hand side for his second start for Everton in the league, which was great to see. Alcaraz was deployed in the number 10 role and Dwight McNeil moved over to the left-hand side. In terms of the first half, to be honest, it was a game of very few chances. Everton started pretty sloppily, lots of loose passes early on, but as the half went on, they did grow into the game a little bit more. There was a huge amount of turnovers in possession for both teams. There's a real lack of quality in the final third. In terms of Everton in the first half, well, James Garner tried to put his foot on the ball and at times did manage to control the tempo of the game. Alcaraz was busy and involved, but he also was a little bit careless in possession as he was last time out. He just gave the ball away when Everton needed a little bit more composure. In the first half, Tyler Diblin was probably Everton's brightest player. He looked tidy and confident, and he actually created the only real chances in the first half. First, he created space on the right-hand side, did a little shimmy, drilled in a low cross. It took a slight deflection and just evaded Beto, who was sliding in. And it went out for a corner. Following that, a few minutes later, there was again another chance on the right-hand side. He hooks a cross in for Alcaraz, who it was looped and he had to generate all the power himself and a header, but he could only head it straight into Dubravka's hands. In terms of Burnley in the first half, for them, Marcus Edwards showed flashes of quality and looked lively whenever he got on the ball. I thought Armando Broja, and again I was a bit worried about Broja. I thought he might turn into sort of the Albanian Ferenc Puskas and score a hat-trick against us, but thankfully he didn't. But he did run the channels well and did have a headed chance, but he sent it well over the bar. Josh Cullen was combative in midfield. He got stuck in and kind of set the tone for Burnley. But in terms of the half-time summary, there's plenty of effort from both teams, but not much quality. Half-time, it was 0-0. I was hoping that in the second half, that as we grew into the game, I thought we'd have a bit more quality. But unfortunately, it started kind of the same way as the first half ended. It was still very sloppy and scrappy. Burnley probably had the better of the chances in the second half. Brun Larsen missed a real gilt-edged one after a lovely dink pass from Edwards, lifting it over the bar when he really should have hit the target. Then another good move down the right-hand side. The ball was cut across to Brun Larsen again, who had a shot. It was blocked well from Mikalenko, and he really should have done better. In terms of Everton chances in the second half, Everton did have moments as well. Beto produced a brilliant bit of improvisation with a back-heeled effort, but Dubravka pulled off a really, really good save. Alcaraz tried an overhead kick from distance. It was a really good effort. It showed great ambition, but ultimately it was pretty much straight at the keeper. Towards sort of halfway through the second half came the changes. Roland Barry came on for Beto and Alcaraz. In terms of sort of towards the end of the game, the game was really up for grabs for both teams. Humphreys had a couple of chances and he really should have hit the target. He had one shot that kind of deflected back to him, and then he really should have hit the target, but he put it wide. Then there's a lovely through ball to Barry on the left-hand side. He made a powerful shot that was saved by the goalkeeper. It went out for a corner. There was a scramble from the corner where the ball just wouldn't fall for anybody, and we really should have got a decisive touch there. Then there was another corner where Burnley cleared well. Tyler Diblin hit a shot from the edge of the box and it sort of hit the defender's arms as he was sort of coming out to block the ball. There was appeals for a penalty, but nothing was given. And Everton really looked like they were in control and looked like if anyone was going to nick it, they would. But right at the end, Fleming was put through as a little bit of a ricochet in the area. Sorry, in the centre circle. Ball ricocheted to Burnley. Fleming was put clean through on a one-on-one on the break, but managed to roll it against the post. The flag did go up afterwards, but on first view, he did look like he was onside. In terms of kind of post-match thoughts, I suppose the big question for us with a 0-0 draw is, Was it a 0.1 or 2 points dropped? It's hard to tell. There were chances at both ends, but neither side really did well enough to win it. I guess it's one of those points where you only see at the end of the season whether or not it was a good point or not. In terms of man of the match, it's a difficult one really for us to choose, but I think I'm going to go with James Garner. I think consistently he was the one that tried to drive us forward. He was combative in midfield, and his quality of passing was just above the rest of our midfielders. Although there were honourable mentions, I thought Tim Irabunam had a really good second half, as did James Tarkowski. I thought he managed to get he got stuck in and he did marshal the troops well. I think Michael Keane had a reasonable game, although at one point in the first half he tried to do a little bit of a step over and bring it out of midfield and just kind of got snagged up and caught in possession. So whilst there was the game was kind of devoid of quality. 0-0 was probably a fair result, although it's one of those where if they'd have nicked it, I don't think we could have had too many complaints, and I certainly don't think if we'd have nicked it there would have been any. I mean, I guess for all their sort of huff and puff, Burnley didn't really have a shot on target at all. There was no saves for Pickford to make, whereas Dubravka made some fantastic saves. It's one of those games where I guess we'll only know in the next few weeks how good a point it was. So that's it from this episode of Bramley Moore Blues. Next up, it's Nottingham Forest on the 30th of December. It's a 7:30 kickoff, so I'll see you then for another instant match reaction. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Up the Toffees.